What's up, you guys? It's Hayden, and today's video topic is coming out. Coming out is truly a life-changing moment, and there's a lot of positives to it, but there's also a lot of scary things that come along with it, because it's really hard to come out to people who you love because you don't really know how they're going to react. You can kind of guess and gauge by your relationship, but ultimately you don't really know. But I will say, at least for me, coming out, it was so liberating. It is truly amazing that I get to live my true, authentic self, and I get to share my experiences and my journey with all my loved ones. And you know, it's up to them if they're wanting to be on this journey with me, or if they're wanting to stand aside, or if they just don't want to know much about me at all. And that's the reality about coming out. But even though coming out is this really rewarding thing, it doesn't change the fact that it is extremely hard to do. Which is why I want to share my coming out story with you guys. And I don't think I've ever actually shared my coming out. I think I've talked about it, but I've never done a video on it. So my coming out was not something that I just jumped into. It was something that I really needed to take a lot of time and thought to really get my words together of what I was going to say. And the fact that I wanted to be 110% certain that this was what I wanted for me before I shared that with anyone else. But the first person that I came out to was, of course, my partner, Brianna. And when I came out to her, basically we were sitting in her studio on our bed, and I had all the lights turned off, and I put a sheet over my head. And I don't think I even told her. I think she just asked me a bunch of questions until she asked me, and it didn't take long, but she figured it out, obviously. And that night, you know, we sat up and we talked. She asked a lot of questions. But coming out to Brianna gave me a lot of courage, and it gave me a lot of hope, because I knew that she was going to be in my corner, by my side, through thick and thin, and she always has been. And it was reassuring to know that she was going to be by my side throughout my transition. About a year before I came out is when I started to kind of prep for my transition. And by prepping, I mean I was building a support network for myself, because it was something I knew I was going to need when I came out as trans to everyone. And so I started attending a small support group on my campus, because I was a student at the time. And the support group was really nice because it opened up some doors for me. And I remember the first meeting I went to, they asked me what my pronouns were, and because we always did introductions. And that was the first time anyone has ever asked me what my pronouns were. And it was really like mind-blowing. Like it changed something in me, where it made me see hope in the future of what is gonna come, because it didn't seem like coming out was ever gonna happen. And even in this support group, I didn't really tell anyone for about a year, and I kept it to myself. And it was really hard for me to do that, but it seemed like it was right for me, because I just wasn't quite there yet. And that's the beautiful thing about coming out. There's no right or wrong way. There's no timeline for it. You just do whatever you need to do and what's gonna make you feel good, and just do it when you are ready to do it. But throughout that year, I slowly started coming out to close loved ones and friends, and it was people where I knew that they were going to be supportive of it, but it's still nerve-wracking doing it. But right before I came out to everyone was when my depression was getting bad. And it got to a point in my life where depression was really overpowering a lot of things about me, I decided like I need to do something about this, and it's not gonna get any better if I just like sit here and don't move forward with my transition. So I got myself into therapy, and I made an appointment with a doctor that specialized in trans medicine. But during my appointment with my doctor, we were talking about kind of a game plan, like if I were to start hormones, this is what I would have to do. She gave me like a list of things that I had to do in order to start T. That little piece of paper was my future, and it made me be able to see that things were going to be possible, and it was just a matter of me coming out. And so during this time, we were going to be going home for a wedding. And the thing is, I live about 4 hours away from home, so going home doesn't happen too frequently. When we went home for that one weekend, that was my one shot to tell my family that I was going to be transitioning. And personally, I wanted to tell them when I knew I was going to be starting testosterone, because in my mind, it was almost serving as like a permanent thing. Like they were not going to be seeing this as just a phase, and that this was actually going to be happening, and physical changes were going to happen, and I'm going to have surgery. And so that's one thing I do want to say is say that like be direct with saying how you're going to go about your transition, because if you're wanting to start hormones, don't say I think I want to start hormones. If you know that you want to start hormones, you need to say I'm going to be starting hormones. Because if you're saying that you think you want to start hormones and you're kind of just hinting towards it, it's giving them hope that you're going to change your mind and that this is just a phase, you know, if that makes sense. And, you know, when I first came out to my father and my stepmom, and it was overall, it went really well. It was really hard to do, but I was very thankful that my brother was there. My brother's girlfriend was there, and we're also friends with her, and Brianna was there. So it was really nice to have that support there. And when I came out to my mother, that was, it was hard to do. I'm very close with my mom, as a lot of you know. Not to say that I'm not close with my dad. We have a good relationship, but I'm extremely close with my mom. And I knew that she would get really emotional, and she did. It was really, really hard for my mom to hear that she's losing another child, essentially. And not that like my dad didn't feel that too, he probably did, but my mom verbalizes it, you know, a little bit more, because we have that open communication with each other. But you know, what it really comes down to is the love that any parent has for their child. And I'm very fortunate in the sense that I have the parents that I do have, because not everyone's coming out experience is going to be as positive as mine was. And I mean, there were some family members that were not okay with it, and they said some really hurtful and horrible things, and nothing has really changed with those relationships with those people. So I mean, like 2% of people were really supportive of my transition. So overall, it was really positive, and I'm very thankful for that, because not everyone has that experience, which is why I say it's important to build a support network. And that's why I did it. You know, I thought it out throughout that year, and it was really hard, because I just wanted to tell everyone, but I wasn't quite there yet, and I just couldn't do it yet. And but throughout that time, I was building these relationships with people, and I was, you know, letting some people in to what was going on in my life and in my heart and in my soul, and what I was dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So some encouragement from me would be have your support there. You know, be direct, be right to the point of what you are wanting for your transition and for your life. And also provide them some resources, because, you know, it's likely that if it's a parent, they're gonna have a hard time accepting it. And, you know, it's likely that they're gonna be asking a lot of questions that may be even inappropriate questions, you know. When I came out to my parents, there were some really uncomfortable questions, and it was great that they were asking questions, though. But there's uncomfortableness with it, so just be aware of that. And also try to keep in mind that you have been experiencing and feeling the feelings that you have been feeling, but to them, they don't know. To them, they're losing their daughter or their son. And that's really hard for a parent to comprehend. You know, I've seen, like, when my brother passed away, I saw how it wrecked my family. And that was honestly the hardest part for me coming out to my parents. I didn't want to put them through that pain again. And yeah, it definitely opened up those wounds, and I respected that. You know, I gave them their space and their time, and I acknowledged what they were feeling. You know, I didn't get mad about it. It made me sad that they were hurting, but at the same time, they were also looking at it in a way where they have a son now, and you know, the soul of me is not dead. I'm very alive, and I'm here, and my parents are really proud of me today. And you know, it's taken some time for them to kind of come around from, I'm saying, like, when I was a teenager with my whole sexual orientation. It has taken quite some time for them to get where they're at today, but I am very fortunate that I have my parents. But if you're thinking about coming out, I wish you nothing but the best. And I mean that from, like, the bottom of my heart, because it really is a hard thing to do. But I also promise that it is so worth it. I hope this video was informative. I hope it was helpful. It's just sometimes nice to hear other people's stories and their experiences. If you guys like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and you can also share it. Subscribe to my channel, and I will do a video soon, probably within the next few days. But until then, I hope you all have a safe and wonderful few days ahead. All right, thanks guys, bye.